Looks like fans get emotional over this pretty intense episode, for good and bad reasons. Yo, what's good, it's supported reviews and heavy spoilers for Demon Slayer Season 3 Episode 6, you have been warned. I really love the moment where Tanjiro rescues Nezuko and she runs up to hug him. You just gotta love this sibling bond between the two of them. I was seriously thinking that Genya was gonna be something similar to Nezuko, where he is this demon who can't really speak or communicate like a human, but it looks like Genya is in control of his demon abilities, which honestly is quite surprising to me. As well as this comedic moment between Genya and Tanjiro. Judging by this interaction, it looks like Genya is quite jealous of Tanjiro because he, as well as Zenitsu and Inosuke, defeated an upper rank demon, and he has a goal to be a Hashira no matter what, and Tanjiro being Tanjiro is super supportive of Genya's choice, and he doesn't seem to be fazed by Genya's new appearance. I thought maybe Tanjiro would be shocked that Genya sort of resembles Nezuko, with those fangs and him drooling, but Tanjiro leaves Nezuko and Genya to fight the other demon, and boy does Nezuko go off on this guy. She grabs the upper floor demon with the blue eyes by the head, and uses her demon art powers to just burn him up, and Nezuko's kind of creepy in the shots. She doesn't have any pupils in this moment and her face is just covered in shadow. She comes off more intimidating than the actual villains, even after her getting stabbed by one of them. Genya goes looking for the main body, and to Genya and the audience's surprise, the dude shrunk his body down and looks more like a bug. I must admit the running scene of him running away from Genya was pretty hilarious. It wasn't badly animated, but it did feel a little bit off, but I assume that's what the directors were intending. But Genya can't slash him. His sword breaks in two. The other demon comes out from the shadows and is about to strike Genya down, and we get into the main meat and potatoes of this episode, of Genya's past. Genya had 6 siblings, 1 older brother and 5 younger ones, and he had a pretty rough upbringing. I don't get the deal with his dad, but he was pretty damn abusive to his kids and his wife, but Genya's mom would always stand in front of the kids and protect them, despite her being this tiny woman. We cut to the scene where the eldest brother goes looking for his mom, and then the kids all wake up. I'm not gonna lie, this whole scene felt a little bit too sweet with all the kids being adorable, but I assume they did that on purpose so that we can have this stark contrast to the next scene. All the kids are super excited that their mom's back home, but out of the blue they all just get brutally massacred by this demon. Mate, this scene threw me off completely. Genya's older brother goes chasing the demon down, and by the time Genya reaches up to his bro, we find out that the demon that killed his siblings was in fact their own mother, which was a pretty shocking twist. I mean, to have the oldest brother murder his own mother who turned into a demon and murdered his own siblings, her own children, and for Genya to watch this series of unfortunate events unfold in front of him, as well as it being Mother's Day in the US, I mean, how much more messed up can you get from that? Bloody hell, mate. The author is insane. We cut back to the present day where Genya seems to regret calling his brother a murderer. He starts wondering what his older brother was thinking and feeling at that moment. And then we get another surprising reveal. It turns out that Genya's older brother that he's been thinking about and talking about since the first episode of this season is in fact that Demon Slayer Hashira Sainami, the guy from season 1 episode 21 who was being a bit of a menace towards Tanjiro and Nezuko. In this episode we get a scene where Sainami seems to disown Genya, and Genya is so confused as to why his brother hates him. He doesn't know if it's because Genya called him a murderer and a monster when he killed their mother, or if Sainami has this hatred towards demons and what it did to his family that he has gone down the dark side. Tanjiro, being the best boy shonen boy, snaps Genya out of his depression, reminds him that, hey Genya, don't you want to become a Hashira? Then snap out of it, dude. And Genya actually saves Tanjiro and he shields his body. I do love Genya's character growth. He starts out wanting to take down one of the upper rank demons, but now has let Tanjiro handle the matter. And it ends with Tanjiro using his sword to take down the tiny man, and that's how the episode ends. Overall, I like the episode a lot, mainly for Genya's backstory. I finally understand why Genya is the way he is and his personality, especially what he went through. The action scenes were pretty awesome to look at, and it looks like a lot of the fans also really loved this episode. It's definitely one of the more well-received episodes in the community since this season began. A lot of people feeling really sad over what happened to Genya and his backstory, feeling that Ufotable did a great job adapting it. But despite the high praise, there are those who don't really like the episode. Of course, those fans are entitled to their opinions. The fans who didn't like like the episode seemed to have an issue with that one sequence of the tiny man demon running away from Genya, comparing it to something like Temple Run, with some others complaining about the backstory, feeling like it was unnecessary and fillerish. That is where I disagree with them. I feel like I needed this backstory. It's fully developed Genya and really made you care for the character. But to be honest with you, Demon Slayer has such a huge fan base, and with it being so popular, it's going to attract very different people. Some will love it, some will hate it, and some will be in the middle. So it is what it is. But I will give this episode a 9 out of 10 and an A. Very emotional and intense. But that's just my opinion. What do you think of this episode? Tell me. Like this video, subscribe for more Demon Slayer reactions, reviews, comparisons, breakdowns, rankings, and more, as well as other anime updates and all that jazz. But thank you for watching, and as always, aboard your review, signing out.